Today, we'll be taking a look at the drum support shaft on this GE electric dryer. Be sure to visit ApplianceVideo.com, where you will find thousands of repair videos on the latest technology. And for a limited time, you can save big on an annual membership and take advantage of all of our premium benefits. ApplianceVideo.com. Do it right the first time. Stop. Before beginning any repair, always be sure to disconnect the power to the appliance. It is also recommended to test the outlet for the proper voltage. You will need the following tools to complete this repair. We've accessed the rear of the unit, and to begin, we must first lift the console here. It's held on by 2 1/4-inch screws. And then, what I want you to do is kind of pop it back. So hit it a little bit on this edge, hit it a little bit on this edge, and then gently roll the console back. We have 2 Phillips screws that are holding on the top here. Take this one off. Take this one out. You're going to bring the console back up, kind of lock it in place here. Now, let's return to the front of the unit. Now that we're back at the front, let's go ahead and open the door here. And then we have 2 Phillips screws that are under the front lip that'll have to be taken out. Take this second one out and set it to the side. Next, we need to remove the front panel. In order to do so, you're going to lift up on the top panel and just push it back a little bit. And then underneath, we have 2 1/4-inch screws, one here and here, that have to be taken out. When removing the second one, just make sure you put your leg on the front so that it does not fall forward. Remove the screw. Then we're going to pull the front forward a little bit, disconnect the light Molex, drop it down. Inside we have 2 more Molexes. You have this one here that have to be pinched and disconnected. Move this plastic back and get on the underside and remove this other Molex. Pull that out, pull forward and lift up off the frame and set the front to the side. Now that we have the front removed, next thing we'll have to do is remove the drum belt so that we can remove the actual drum itself. So we'll reach in, grab your idler, pull it back, remove the belt from the motor pulley, and gently let your idler go forward. Start to pull forward on the belt. Drag it across your drum here. Pull it out and set it to the side. Then, when removing the drum, we're simply going to pull forward. Once we get a little forward, go ahead and flex the sides so we pull out of it. Lift up on the top, pull your drum out and set it to the side. Now that we have the drum removed, we have clear access to the support shaft and bearing assembly here. Now the main reason why you would need to access this is if the unit is getting loud as it spins. A lot of times what I find is maybe this has been chewed off, or a lot of lint and debris has gotten underneath this bearing, causing it to get very loud. If this is the case, it will need to be replaced. Now to replace it, let's go ahead and flip it over to its other side. Next, with it flipped over, make sure you put something on the underside to keep it still. And we have 3 T25 screws that have to be taken out. once we have these out, you'll lift up on the drum, pull out on the bearing, and set it aside. When installing your new drum support shaft, first thing you'll want to do is tape down this center plate. Line the holes up because this can slide around, and put 4 pieces of tape on it. And then we'll need to get some zip ties. Smaller the better, you just want to have a little length. And you'll want to slide these right through all the way down to the other side, right through those holes. And we only want to do 2 of them. So slide those through. And then we want to tip it up. Hold on to the zip ties. And you're going to take your support shaft and bearing and slide one of the zip ties through the first hole and then the second hole. Start to draw it in. Hold this up. And you want to slide your zip ties through one of the holes of the rear plate. So we'll start there with this one. We will move over to this one. Pull it through, slide it through as far as you can. Hold on to the zip ties and the support shaft. Tip it back over where it is actually sitting on the support shaft. Then you want to grab your zip ties, start to pull them through, and zip them up. You may have to twist them. Get the second one in here and pull it as tight as you can. You may have to wiggle around the bottom again to line it up a little better. But that should line up the first screw hole so that we can insert the first screw. So what we'll do, use a hand screwdriver, do not use your drill, and try putting this screw inside of here. You may have to continue to move it a little bit. Let's try that. But we're just looking to get it to bite first. There we go. Once you have the first one going in, let's cut a zip tie, pull it through, start the other one. Now that one's lined up and is starting to bite. Let's draw it in. Let's cut the other zip tie. Pull that through. Put our last screw inside. Tighten it up. Go around and remove all your tape. Now we can reinstall the drum. When reinstalling your drum assembly, we're going to put it so the bearing portion is towards the rear. Start to bring it in straight, and you may have to flex the walls in order to get it in. Let's bring it in, and then once we get toward the back, I want you to tilt it up a little bit so that the rear bearing can slide into the hole. Let's go ahead and start to put our drive belt around the drum. Lift it up and start to wiggle it to about the second rib on the drum. We'll bring our hands underneath. We will put the flat portion of the belt against the idler, pull down, and then wrap the rib portion around the motor pulley. Gently let your idler back. Now we can reinstall the front panel. When reinstalling your front panel, first we're going to bring it in and set the bottom front on the stakes of the frame. And then I want you to reach in and reconnect your Molexes inside the front. Put that one in, and of course reattach the shield. Slide that Molex back on, and then lift up on the drum and slide the front on. It should line up pretty well. Make sure you get a screw. Attach the first one. Let's go ahead and attach the second one here. We'll lift up and reconnect our light Molex. Push the front down in the back, slide forward, and drop it in place. Now we can reinstall the screws. Now, when reinstalling your bottom screws, you have to be very careful. I recommend starting it in and slowly trying to get to the exact spot that you need to get to where it starts to draw in the top. Once we get one side lined up, let's start to do the same to the other side. Draw it down, draw it down. Now let's return to the back of the unit. Now that we're back at the rear of the unit, let's start by slapping the console back. Pull it off here and let it fall down. Then let's put our Phillips back in, start them by hand, and then use the drill. Let's look inside, put the other one in, tighten it up. Let's bring the console back up. And now when we're doing this, since this fell out, let's slide back in our wire holder. Bring the console up, reattach it and slide it forward. Let's reinstall the two rear 1/4 inch screws. And you want these to go in nice and smooth. If they start to cross thread, do not push it. And this will complete your repair. Thank you for watching another quality video from ApplianceVideo.com. If you found this video helpful, make sure you click the like and subscribe to our channel.